So on number 26, the table shows Mr. Blackwell's total earnings as a car salesman for different sales amount. So the sales are your X's, the total earnings are your Y's. So you should graph this. Your X is 10, so you go over 10 and you go up 1,750. So what is that in between? Because this line right here is 1,500, correct? So it should be in between that and 2,000. So you should have a dot about here. Then at 23,000, you should have a dot there. Then at 34,250, again, this mark is 3,500. So it's going to be in between, and this one is 4,500. So it's going to be in between 4,000 and 4,500. So you should also have a mark there.
It's possible. Too late. Should be.
Okay, so that's how you graph it. Then if you connect your graphs with a line like you were told to, it should look like that. Write an equation in slope-intercept form. So we need to figure out the slope, okay? How are we going to do that? There's two different ways you can do it. I think one's easier than the other on this situation, but I can do it either way. Count the boxes. I could count the boxes. The only reason why I say this one isn't ideal for that is because you have this one that's in between. So that one might be a little harder to count your rise over run. So what else could I do? McKenna? Y2 minus Y1 over X2. There we go. So let's say that this is X1 and this is Y1. This is X2 and this is Y2. So now I can substitute. I have 3,000 minus what? Over minus, so 3,000 minus 1,750 gives you what? 1,000, there's not a lot of room to work here. 1,250, you can type that in the calculator if you didn't know it. 20 minus 10? And to simplify, I can just cross off my zeros, right? So you get your slope is 125. What do we represent slope with? N equals 125. We need to figure out our y-intercept. Okay, that's where it meets the y-axis. This point right here is where it meets the y-axis. What would we say that point is?
500.
This line right here is 500. What? 750? Because it's above 5,000, right? So B equals 750. This one's a little harder because you don't know exactly what it is. Most of the problems I give you will be exact and it'll be easier to determine. Okay. So then my equation is y equals mx plus b. Y equals, what's my m?
125x
Plus what?
plus 750.
Yesterday, we talked about analyzing this or interpreting it. What does this 750 represent?
So, total earnings.
It's your total earnings where they will start. Okay, so I didn't ask you to interpret it, but it was just a little review from yesterday. My y-axis is my total earnings, so that's where my total earnings would start. And then based on the number of sales I made, it's going to increase. Okay, that's kind of how car salesmen's salaries work. They have a base salary, and then if they sell more cars, they make more money. If they don't sell as much cars, they don't make as much money. Yeah, that's why you pull into the parking lot and they're all sitting right there. All right. Number 27. Would you read this one for me, Gavin?
If you have 20 points for the each term to accumulate the chance of y equals y equals
Okay, so this is exactly what we did yesterday. So the slope of the line is what? Akili? 8, because remember if you rewrite it as y equals mx plus b, we know that our m represents slope. So right here is where your m is. So your slope of the line is 8. And the y-intercept, which is our b, is
20.
what?
20.
20, because that's where in place of b it is. Questions on that part? Okay, so then the blank represents the number of postcards when she began collecting, and the blank represents the number of postcards added each vacation. So what is this one? The slope or y-intercept? The y-intercept represents the numbers where she started, right? Because that's where x is at 0, so when she's taken 0 vacations. So this would be where she started, which is the y-intercept. And then the slope represents the number of postcards added each vacation. So that by the number of vacations that she takes, the more postcards that she gets to her collection. Right? Because your slope is how much it increases over time. Questions on that now?